If you earn below 30,000 at the end of the month, these are the three things that you must have or do, or otherwise you're gonna get yourself sinking further into poverty. You're gonna get yourself facing the same challenges that you're facing 3 months ago, last month, this month, future month, and that kind of a thing. You know why? Because you're doing the same things and expecting the same or rather different result. And let me just bust your bubble. This amount of money that you're earning in that bracket, I'm honestly speaking, if you're not careful enough, it's gonna cater for your rent, for your food, and probably even changing your clothes can be a problem. But guess what? On this video, I'm gonna share with you 3 magical things that you must have or do, or otherwise you're gonna get yourself into problems. And guess what? I usually post a video each and every day. So if you don't wanna miss any piece of my good video, this is what you do. Just below there, down below there on your right, there is a button written subscribe. It's a very magical button. If you hit that button and then give this video a thumbs up, that is a like, you get be notified by YouTube. Good Joseph has uploaded a new good video, right? So let's get in today's business. Now, what are these 3 things that you must have so you don't get yourself into sinking in further into poverty? Number 1, it's called a health insurance cover. Yes, I know this is a thing that you might ignore. Probably you're not employed, maybe you have employed yourself, you're a Juakali person, you are whoever you are. It's a thing that a lot of people tend to ignore. But let me tell you the magical thing about this thing. Have you ever found yourself being added in a group and then people telling you, probably you know the individual they're telling you like, oh, you know what, help us raise 40,000 for the sick person that you have, or sick loved one in our hospital, help us do this. And the amount of money that you're actually asking for, maybe let's say it's 100,000, 120, 80,000 or something of sort. You know what? This amount of this problem has actually gotten people into more problems and into more poverty things. All right. This is what I would advise you to do. Get yourself the lowest cover that is out there in our country. For our case, is only 500 Kenyan shillings. Get yourself an HIF. All right. That is National Health Insurance Fund. That thing gonna do magical things and gonna change your lives. All right. You know why? If you tend to ignore this specific thing, can you imagine this amount of money that you're getting at the end of the month? Probably you pay your rent, and then maybe you pay your utilities like the water, the electricity, and what have you. And then maybe you just thrift shop here and there because you subscribe to the understanding or the belief that life is short, you must nice yourself and that kind of a things. And then all your money slips away from your hands, and then you start going back to the next month for you to get another money. Then say, or imagine this, another thing that shows up, a disease or something like that, God forbid. And guess what? The most predictable thing about life, it's unpredictability. You can never predict what transpires, but always it's good to plan yourself. Now, say this. Now, that thing shows up, you do not have money because you haven't been saving anything, or you don't even have a health cover or something of sort. Now, what do you think would happen? You're gonna get yourself into debts. You have to borrow because at the end of the day, you have to pay this bill. I mean, your loved one must be treated or something of sort. Then that means you're gonna get yourself into further problems of you getting a debt in your life. Then that means that you earn less at the same time you got yourself a debt, and this debt actually has an interest. So you get yourself further into problems. This is what I would advise you to do. Yes, just close your eyes, get that insurance cover for only 500 Kenyan shillings, and then be covering yourself because you never know. Especially if you guys, you have a family out there, you got kids, you got wives, you got yourself, you got whoever you have around who matters to your life. It's good to have this health insurance cover because you never know. It's gonna save you mileage. It's gonna save a lot of things in your life. It's not a thing that you're not supposed to ignore. Get yourself, just show up to any Huduma center in our country, register for that thing. You only require 1,500 and then get started from there. At this era that you are in, let's appreciate the fact that some of these things usually happen in life. All right. And the point number 2, or the second thing that you need to have in your life, you need to have a discipline and sacrifice. Yeah, I know maybe you never saw that coming. It is true. You need to have yourself a discipline and a sacrifice. At this age bracket, in terms of your income, you really need to sacrifice a lot of things. And you need to be a disciplined person when sacrificing. You might sacrifice, but you're not disciplined. Or you can only sacrifice if you're disciplined. So those two terms are interchangeably used together. So one thing that you're supposed to understand is this. Appreciate the fact that this amount of money that you're earning ain't going to make you a millionaire in 2, 3, or even 10 years to come. All right, so you're gonna change your mathematics. You have to change it. You have to do a different thing so that at least you approach that target that you have in a different angle. And the only thing that you cannot be able, or the only thing that you can do to change your life, you cannot show up to your boss and tell them, hey, I want you to add my salary to 50,000 or 100,000. You can do that. You have to plan yourself this 100K, or rather this below 30K that you're earning. And this is exactly how you go about it. You have to know one thing. There is a law that is saying that you have to save at least 20% of your income if you want to make a change in your life for 3, 4, 5, or 6, or 10 years to come from today. Then that means you have to determine how much is 20%, let's say of the 30% of the 30,000. That's around 6,000. That is the money that you're supposed to channel back. Even if it means you downgrading your life a little bit, maybe migrating from where you rent to a different place, so be it. That's where now the sacrifice comes in. But if you just want to retain the status quo that you have right now, and that status quo that you're living on has actually consumes all your income, you're left with nothing. There is no surplus. Remember one thing, there is nothing like surplus in life. All what we do is we adjust ourselves to create a surplus. Surplus is created, it's never out there. It doesn't come just freely. By the way, even if you are earning a million bob in a month, and if you decide not to have a surplus, you can. So surplus is never there, it is created, and actually that is the thing that now you channel back towards your savings. And not just save. Let me tell you another secret. You cannot save yourself to the riches. You can't. Nobody has ever saved themselves to the riches. What you do, you save on the purposes of investing that money to earn yourself a substantive amount of income, usually called the passive income, and then plus the whatever the conventional income that you have, now you're increasing or you're expanding the income basket. And that is the only way that you progress to the next level. Don't feel like you're earning a lot of money. That is a fact. Because if you do, then from that will be the genesis of your downfall. Appreciate the fact that this particular point, that this amount of money I'm supposed to sacrifice as much as I can. Otherwise, if you continue with that amount of money as your salary for the next 4, 5, or 6 years, then guess what will happen? You're going to get yourself into circles of problems, circles of challenges, and such kind of a thing. You're not even making a stride, you're not even making a step, you're not making a progress. That is exactly what you're supposed to do. Otherwise, if you continue like that, you're going to get yourself into problems. What did I say at the second point? Is discipline and sacrificing. What does it mean? Discipline is sticking to what you've budgeted as your budget. And again, guys, you got to have yourself a budget. Budget is telling your money where to go rather than wondering where it went. So if you stick to that budgeting, then, and that budgeting, of course, when you're formulating it, you must have sacrificed some things. That it means you've inculcated discipline and the sacrifice at the same time. That is the only thing or the only way that you do yourself. The other point is this: you're gonna get yourself what we call small investments here and there. And I would suggest getting yourself started with the circle. Just pick a good circle that is out there. Or you can pick a money market fund that is out there. Put your money out there that's gonna earn you some interest as you progress to the next level. What do you do exactly with this? Pick a thing that you know actually cannot overstretch yourself. If you can pick like a money market fund, which you say that I'll be dedicating like 2,000, 3,000, or 4,000 towards it, then at this particular time I'll have this amount of money. That is exactly how you go about it. Because if you do nothing, then expect something. Let me tell you one secret. If you sow corn, don't be surprised when you harvest corn, because that is exactly what you sow. So the point is this: pick a thing that you know is very simple for you, something that you know you can relate well with it. Go invest in that specific place. What do I mean by that point? Let's say you pick a money market fund. There's a money market fund actually accept like as little as 100 Kenyan shillings. So if you were to dedicate that amount of money, say 100 Kenyan shilling each and every day, for a whole month, that is 3,000. Say you don't get paid at each and every day, you can set aside that 3K, channel it towards that money market fund. And that exactly means that you're gonna get yourself some good amount of money. If you were to do mathematics like getting yourself 3,000 at the end of the month, multiplied by 12, you have your 36,000 plus the interest, you have yourself close to 40,000 in that specific year. If you were to stick with that discipline and that sacrifice for the next 5 years, by the way, you can give yourself a challenge. By the time you're coming to the next general election, you're gonna get you're gonna get 40,000 times 5. You're gonna get yourself like 200 Gs. I mean, come on, let's be sincere. If you were to withdraw that amount of money, like 200 Gs, you can start yourself a very nice investment and nice business. That is how you grow yourself. But if you stick to the understanding or the belief, or if you subscribe to the understanding that you earn yourself a low money, you can only make a substantive change when you earn yourself more money. There is nothing like that. If you cannot be able to manage 1,000 bob, then there is no magic that will happen. You'll be able to manage 10 or 100,000. That is the way it goes. You have to inculcate the discipline all the way when you're earning less money to a point whereby now at this situation, you can be able to actually manage or plan this amount of money. That is how you do it. Doesn't have a shortcut, have never had a shortcut. It is the only way you grow yourself. So let me just go ahead and recap exactly what I've just said. Number one, I said get yourself a health insurance cover. Don't ignore it. That's gonna change yourself a lot of things in this life, and you're gonna get yourself out of the problems and shameful things and such kind of a things. Trying to drag people into your WhatsApp account so that at least they changia you or something of sort. All right. Next point that you need to have, or the next thing that you need to have a discipline and sacrifice. Appreciate the fact that this age bracket you have or you are in terms of your earnings, it is not a thing that you can say you're in a luxurious state. It's a state that you need to offer, or you get yourself discipline, meaning stick to what you say that you're gonna do. If you say that you're gonna be setting aside 2K each and every month, so be it. No matter what, so be it. All right. And the other point that you need to have yourself is sacrifice. Sacrificing meaning that if you realize the status quo that you're living on is you're consuming the entire the entire 30K, then it means you're not gonna make any difference. You're not gonna make any progress in this life. And the last one but not the least, I said you have to have yourself some small investments here and there. You can pick a money market fund, you can pick a circles. Well, for this particular time, perhaps you don't have yourself a savings of 50K. But if you had, or maybe 100K, would have talked about the treasury bills or treasury bonds. But if you can just save it a little bit for a certain period of time, you can get started, and that's how you create a portfolio of your investment. Perhaps maybe I can give this one as a discount as I vacate on this video. Get yourself an emergency fund. All right, emergency fund is not an investment fund. This money is a money that you set aside for the purposes of it. In case anything shows up that needs money, like you can access that money ASAP, like in its liquid form within a click of a button. That is exactly what we call an emergency fund. All right, guys, if you've managed to watch this video up to this particular point, guess how I'm feeling? I'm feeling so good, and I want to say thank you very much for actually being here. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and let's move to the next level. For now, it's a goodbye, but don't forget to as well grab my number from the description of this specific video. I'm going to leave my number out there. You can give me a call. I offer services pertaining to consultation, pertaining to finance, business advisory, and such kind of things. All right, for a just cup of coffee, or if you need of my booklets, you can get them a copy. It's only 280 shillings. Grab that number, text me on WhatsApp, or give me a call. We get started. Let's talk business and let's grow ourselves to the next level. Don't forget to as well comment down below. Tell me something, what you think about this video. For now, it's a